All right, today's the day. I'm moving on. We're doing part 2 of Taylor Swift's Red album reaction right here, right now. I'm very excited for this because I've had about a week to sit with the first 10 songs on this album. I've never done album reactions like this. I normally just do it from start to finish in one sitting, and that's just kind of how I do it. But people told me, they said, Jim, this is kind of a long album. It's a lot to take in, and you might need a bit of a breather on this one. So people recommended that I cut it in half, and that's what we're doing today. Anyway, if you haven't seen the first half of this reaction, it is available here on Patreon. I'll be sure to link it so everybody can see it, and it's just easy for you guys to find. After today's reaction, I'll be moving on to the Red Vault tracks. Then after that, we'll be doing live performances, we'll do interviews, and we'll also do any sort of documentaries or other cool videos that are surrounding this era. And then we move on to the next album.
I was reminiscing just the other day while having coffee all alone, and Lord, it took me away back to a first glance feeling on New York time. Back when you fit in my poems like a perfect rhyme. Took off faster than a green light go. Yeah, you skip the conversation when you already know. I left a note on the door with a joke we'd made, and that was the first day. And darling, it was good. Never looking down, and right there where we stood was holy ground.
All right, a little positive. It's minimal, but it's effective.
Spinning like a girl in a brand new dress. We had this big wide city all to ourselves. We plucked the noise with the sound of I Need You, and for the first time I had something to lose. And I guess we fell apart in the usual way, and the stories got dust on every page. But sometimes I wonder how you think about it now, and I see your face in every crowd. 'Cause darling, it was good. Never looking down, and right there where we stood was holy ground. Tonight I'm gonna dance for all that we've been through, but I don't wanna dance if I'm not dancing with you. Tonight I'm gonna dance like you were in this room, but I don't wanna dance if I'm not dancing with you.
So there's still love.
Was good. Never looking down,
Perhaps a bit reckless.
and right there where we stood was holy ground.
I love the subtle electronic layer.
Tonight I'm gonna dance for all that we've been through, but I don't wanna dance if I'm not dancing with you. Tonight I'm gonna dance like you were in this room, but I don't wanna dance if I'm not dancing with you.
So if I had to guess, I would say Taylor is lovingly reflecting on a relationship that just kind of fizzled away. And she says it ended in an ordinary way. But still, that does not change the fact that she is continuing to celebrate the relationship and the memories they shared right now. Kind of sweet. Really enjoy the upswing melody and the pulsating drums. And yeah, man, this subtle synth pad mixed together with a raw drum and bass and touch of guitar adds a nice familiar twist to an angle that we're already familiar with. I really enjoyed Taylor's delivery on this one too. It's incredibly expressive, but it's also very charming as well. Overall, not a bad little jam.
the tracks, your face in a locket. Good girls, hopeful they'll be, and long they will wait. We had a beautiful magic love there. What a sad, beautiful, tragic love affair.
That's clever. It's minimalistic, but it's very powerful.
In dreams, I meet you in warm conversation, and we both awake in lonely beds in different cities. And time is taking its sweet time erasing you. And you've got your demons, and darling, they all look like me.
Is she admitting something here?
'Cause we had a beautiful magic love there. What a sad, beautiful, tragic love affair. Distance, timing, breakdown, fighting, silence. The train runs off its track.
The train is a relationship.
We try to fix it. Could you just try to listen? Hang up, give up, and for the life of us, we can't get back.
It's sarcastic and snarky.
A beautiful magic love there. What a sad, beautiful, tragic, beautiful, tragic, beautiful. What we had, a beautiful magic love there. What a sad, beautiful, tragic love affair. We had a beautiful magic love there. What a sad, beautiful, tragic love affair.
Oh, it just fades out like that? All right, that's just poetry. All right, so Taylor's reminiscing here about a relationship that probably went down in flames. Taylor admits they had something special. She calls it a beautiful magic love. And it seems like this guy is still like very fresh in her memory. She can't move on from this thing. So I guess distance, timing, breakdown, and fighting, those are the things that kind of took that train off the track and just derailed this entire relationship. One interesting line here was when she said she could see his demons, and all of his demons looked like her. It could be taken a couple different ways, but the way I take it initially is that maybe she's admitting that she's at least some of the fault for this relationship fizzling away. Now, during the song, Taylor expresses that she'd like this dude to fix the problem, apologize, do whatever this guy needs to do to make it right. However, so much time has passed, and even though he's still freshly in her memory, but so much time has passed that his words aren't going to carry much weight now. Sonically, I really enjoyed the sleepy folk guitars mixed together with Taylor's subtle, drawn-out tone. One of my favorite subtle details in this song is the tambourine. You may not have even heard it. It was on the snare, and there was just a slight layer of atmosphere to it, a little bit of reverb, a little bit of space, and that really just kind of opens the whole thing up and just adds like a different layer of atmosphere. And then ending it off with a lush layer of cinematics was really cool. Even though it was sharp and it was abrupt, I think it was still pretty cool. I wish they would have just kind of elongated that a little bit. This is a song that you kind of want to melt into. I would have been happy with this song going on for a whole another 5 minutes.
New to town with a made-up name in the angel city, chasing fortune and fame. And the camera flashes make it look like a dream. You had it figured out since you were in school. Everybody loves pretty, everybody loves cool. So overnight, you look like a 60s queen.
It's a 60s beat too.
Their name goes up in lights, like diamonds in the sky. And they'll tell you now you're the lucky one. Yeah, they'll tell you now you're the lucky one.
Piano on the root notes is cool.
Tell me now you're the lucky one. Oh, oh, oh. Now it's big black cars and Riviera views, and your lover in the foyer doesn't even know you, and your secrets end up splashed on the news front page.
Uh-oh, I sense similarities.
And they tell you that you're lucky, but you're so confused, 'cause you don't feel pretty, you just feel used. And all the young things line up to take your place. Another name goes up in lights. You wonder if you'll make it out alive. And they'll tell you now you're the lucky one. Yeah, they'll tell you now you're the lucky one. Can you tell me now you're the lucky one?
See how she's switching the narrative? Can you tell me? Ooh, it's cool harmony.
It was a few years later, I showed up here, and they still tell the legend of how you disappeared, how you took the money and your dignity and got the hell out.
Oh.
They say you bought a bunch of land somewhere, chose
Like by the lakes?
Rose Garden over Madison Square, and it took some time, but I understand it now.
Rose Gardens over Madison Square.
'Cause now my name is up in lights, but I think you got it right. Let me tell you now you're the lucky one. Let me tell you now you're the lucky one. Let me tell you now you're the lucky one. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah, they'll tell you now you're the lucky one. Yeah, they'll tell you now you're the lucky one. Let me tell you now you're the lucky one. Oh, 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 oh.
Well, that's fun. Now, I don't think this song is about Taylor. I could be wrong on this one, but this doesn't feel like one of those instances where we're basically peeking into her diary and just learning of a different story or something about her life. This seems like she's talking about somebody else completely. However, the story does definitely share a lot of similarities to Taylor's own life. This seems to be about a young person who doesn't know anybody, that's just moved off to California. She's kind of risking it all to go out there for fame and fortune and to see her name up in lights. And despite the overwhelming odds, it's actually working out for her. Pretty and Cool is working. Her name is going up on lights. She thinks she's got it all figured out. So everything is working out for her, and the recurring theme of this song, along with the title, is the lucky one. They'll all tell you you're the lucky one, and that keeps repeating, and it's fun, and it's kind of upbeat and everything. But at a certain point, Taylor directly asks the protagonist a question. Do you feel like you're the lucky one now? Are you the lucky one? And here's the thing, she might have all these cars and a Riviera and, fame and fortune and all the things that go with it, but she doesn't know her lover's name in that Riviera. All of her personal details are being spilt on the front pages of newspapers. There's no privacy. And it's at this point she starts to feel used. She starts to see the life cycle of all of this. She starts to see the next generation of pretty cool coming up behind her to take her spot. But towards the end of this song, the protagonist takes a completely different angle. And I think this is something that Taylor herself has fantasized about. Walking away from your name in lights. Walking away from Madison Garden for that rose garden. I can't help but think about the Folklore documentary. And she talks about this collective group of poets. I think they were from England. And they all just kind of stopped what they were doing. They said, all right, we're done. And they all moved to this lake town or whatever. It wasn't all one house, but they all lived around this lake. And they just tended to their gardens and they just kind of lived out their days that way. It's something when I saw Taylor explain that scenario and the idea of just stepping away and just being her own person and not being as vulnerable or as transparent with people and just kind of having her own life. When she was talking about that in that story, you could see her eyes light up. And that's kind of almost the message of this song. The girl gets what she wants. She becomes famous. Everybody asks her if she's lucky. At the end, she has to ask herself, am I really the lucky one because of all of this? Well, yeah, sure, this is an incredible hurdle to get to this point. However, there are sacrifices that have been made here. I am disassociated with the everyday person that is around me. I don't know who my lovers are. I have all these things, but I don't have any meaningful relationships or people to share them with. At the end, I like that she steps away from it all and she just trades it all, trades Madison Square Garden for her rose garden, and just kind of lives her life out that way. It's funny to me how the protagonist had to change her look. She became this overnight 60s queen. I guess that was kind of her thing or whatever. And in reality, the sonic experience of this song is very much in line with music from that era. I guess the whole thing feels like a modern take on a classically written song. The piano in the chorus kind of makes it cheerful and a little bit dramatic. And the subtle cello just adds a natural, organic warmth on top of a very sharp beat. The whole thing just mixes very well together.
We good to go?
Oh, this has got Ed Sheeran on it.
All I knew this morning when I woke is I know something now I didn't before. And all I've seen since 18 hours ago is green eyes and freckles and your smile in the back of my mind, making me feel like I just wanna know you better know, you better know, you better now. I just wanna know you better know, you better know, you better now. I just wanna know you better know, you better know, you better now. I just wanna know you, know you, know you. 'Cause all I know is we said hello, and your eyes are looking like coming home. All I know is a simple name. Everything has changed. All I know is you held the door. You'll be mine and I'll be yours. All I know since yesterday is everything has changed.
Ed Sheeran was subtle.
And all my walls stood tall, painted blue. But I'll take them down, and open up the door for you.
And all I feel in my stomach is butterflies, the beautiful kind, making up the lost time, taking flight, making me feel
Warm cello.
like I just wanna know you better know, you better know, you better now. I just wanna know you better know, you better know, you better now. I just wanna know you better know, you better know, you better now. I just wanna know you, know you, know you. 'Cause all I know is we said hello, and your eyes are looking like coming home.
chills.
I just wanna know you, know you, know you.
That thin.
All I know is the sad hello, and your eyes look like coming home.
Was that a wind instrument?
I know it's a simple name. Everything has changed. All I know is you held the door, and you'll be mine and I'll be yours. All I know since yesterday is everything has changed. All I know is the sad hello. So dust off your highest hopes. All I know is pouring rain, and everything has changed. All I know is a newfound grace. All my days I'll know your face. All I know since yesterday is everything has changed.
I think this song is about a chance encounter and that immediate connection you can sometimes feel with people. They could have been a complete stranger 5 minutes ago, but something about them has made you feel safe and comfortable, and you have this immediate and intense connection and interaction. The song is about that. It's about that feeling, that moment, that thing when somebody stops you in your tracks and you're just asking yourself, how did this happen? How am I a different person now, 18 hours later? Overall, man, this one was sweet and honestly pretty comforting. Really enjoyed Taylor and Ed Sheeran's delivery on this. Ed creeping in for the first part there, just slowly and subtly, like he kind of crept up just like the cello did in the second chorus. Now that mixed together with all the cinematic layering, some sort of modulated wind instrument, it kind of almost made the whole thing feel lighter than air and even a touch of whimsicality. But my favorite part, my absolute favorite part of this entire song is when everything cuts out. All the dramatic stop. No more cinematic score, no more beat, no more Ed Sheeran. It is just Taylor Swift and a guitar. And honestly, guys, it gave me chills. Her delivery was just so sharp and beautiful at the same time. It just really kind of took the whole thing back to home. Yeah, I like this one. This one definitely put me in a good headspace.
I said, oh my, what a marvelous tune. It was the best night, never would forget how we moved. The whole place was dressed to the nines, and we were dancing, dancing, like we're made of starlight, like we're made of starlight. I'm with Bobby on the boardwalk, summer of 45.
Okay, we got a story.
Picks me up late one night at the window. We were 17 and crazy, running wild,
Okay.
wild. Can't remember what song it was playing when we walked in. The night we snuck into a yacht.
I'm visualizing the whole thing.
Pretending to be a duchess and a prince. And I said, oh my, what a marvelous tune. It was the best night, never would forget how we moved. The whole place was dressed to the nines, and we were dancing, dancing, like we're made of starlight, starlight, like we're made of starlight, starlight.
It's a nice accent.
He said, look at you, worrying too much about things you can't change. You spend your whole life singing the blues if you keep thinking that way. He was trying to skip rocks on the ocean, saying to me,
She's falling for him.
don't you see the starlight, starlight? Don't you dream impossible things? Like, oh my, what a marvelous tune. It was the best night, never would forget how we moved. The whole place was dressed to the nines, and we were dancing, dancing, like we're made of starlight, starlight, like we're made of starlight, starlight. Ooh, ooh, he's talking crazy. Ooh, ooh, dancing with me. Ooh, ooh, we could get married, have 10 kids, and teach them how to dream.
And a guitar solo. This feels like a movie.
Oh my, what a marvelous tune. It
All right, we got another story. I mean, obviously, I don't think this is about Taylor Swift unless she was around in 1945 and she just defies age, but I don't think that's the case. So the protagonist seems to be kind of smitten by Bobby, even though he's talking crazy. He's talking about getting married right away, having 10 kids, and teaching him how to dream. She still seems to be kind of into him. I can't help but like Bobby, too. I mean, in this story, he's a pretty cool guy. Obviously, the girl is a little down or something, or she's in this dark place, and Bobby's trying to pull her out of there by saying, don't be stuck in that place. If you focus on that one dark thing, you're going to live your whole life down there. Overall, it was a pretty sweet song. I like it. It took me back to that place. Like, as the song was going on, I imagined these two teenagers in 1945 just kind of falling for each other. And I couldn't help but think of my grandparents kind of in this kind of scenario. This is another song that really put me in a good headspace. Uh-oh.
Took a deep breath in the mirror. He didn't like it when I wore high heels, but I do. Turned the lock and put my headphones on. He always said he didn't get this song, but I do. I do. Walked in expecting you'd be late, but you got here early and you stand and wave. I walked to you. You pull my chair out and help me in, and you don't know how nice that is, but I do. And you throw your head back laughing like a little kid. That you think I'm funny, 'cause he never did. I've been spending the last 8 months thinking all love ever does is break and burn and end. But on a Wednesday in a cafe, I watched it begin again. Said you never met one girl who had as many James Taylor records as you, but I do. We tell stories and you don't know why. I'm coming off a little shy, but I do.
Even her delivery was meek.
But you throw your head back laughing like a little kid. You think I'm funny, 'cause he never did. I've been spending the last 8 months thinking all love ever does is break and burn and end. But on a Wednesday in a cafe, I watched it begin again.
Is that the accordion?
And we walked down the block to my car, and I almost brought him up. But you start to talk about the movies that your family watches every single Christmas, and I wanna talk about that. And for the first time, what's past is past. 'Cause you throw your head back laughing like a little kid. I think it's strange that you think I'm funny, 'cause he never did. I've been spending the last 8 months thinking all love ever does is break and burn and end. But on a Wednesday in a cafe, I watched it begin again. On a Wednesday in a cafe, I watched it begin again.
Even though from start to finish, this entire song has a depressing undertone to it, I think it's actually a very positive thing. So Taylor says she's been in a dark place for the better part of a year. She's starting to almost lose faith in love. She thinks it always crashes and burns and she can't hold on to it, and it always just ends in disaster. But this song proves differently. As depressing as this sounds, it's actually pretty sweet. She found love again, randomly on a Wednesday in a cafe. And it just goes to show you, it's always darkest before dawn. You never know what's going to happen. She wasn't expecting this to happen, but at her darkest point, she found somebody to lift her up again, and she started to have that feeling in her chest again. Get those butterflies back and start to really believe in connection and love again. I think this song approaches love from the angle of how life works. You know, when we get burned, when we get hurt, when things don't work out how we wanted them to, it does something to us. It puts us in that place, and we have two options. We can either dwell in that place and we can just be there in that sad song and just live there, or we can climb our way out and find and move on to the next thing. It just goes to show you, you never know what's going to happen. You never know what kind of encounter you're going to have. The best way to live life is to live life. Just get out there and do what you have to do. So I can't help but feel happy for Taylor on this one. Honestly, it sucks being stuck in that dark, depressing state for so long. I can totally relate to that. I get it. But the fact that she's coming out and basically coming out of her shell again and learning to love again puts a smile on my face and makes me happy. This is probably one of the more romantic songs I've ever heard from Taylor Swift. I know it doesn't sound like it. I know maybe you won't agree with me, but to me, this might be one of the most romantic songs I've ever heard her write. Sonically, this song delivers another sleepy, slow ride, and that's not necessarily a bad thing because we're introduced to some new textures that we haven't heard before. A subtle touch of accordion with a lot of chorus on it, a bit of mandolin in there. You know, these little accent melodies and touches of piano kind of just make the song come alive. It's really those little details that really make these songs special. Taylor's delivery on this song was also very interesting as well. It's a contrast, man. At some points, it's soft and it's breathy and it just kind of invokes that sense of despair. But in other times, it's a little bit chimier and it just leans on that element of sharp, which also just gives us some sort of hope. So it's a mixture of hope and despair. And I think that's kind of what this song is all about. Uh-oh. You know it's going to be bad when it starts off with the piano, a light strum of a guitar, and the cello comes up in the top half of the mix. You know it's going to be bad. It's going to be intense. Just mentally prepare.
You should have been there. Should have burst through the door with that "baby, I'm right here" smile, and it would have felt like a million little shining stars had just aligned, and I would have been so happy.
God, it's gorgeous.
Christmas lights glisten. I've got my eye on the door, just waiting for you to walk in. But the time is ticking. People ask me how I've been as I comb back through my memory. How you said you'd be here.
I think I might know what this is about.
You said you'd be here. And it was like slow motion.
Damn.
There in my party dress, in red
Holy shit, that's heavy.
with no one to impress, and they're all laughing as I'm looking.
Oh, that snare is violent.
But there was one thing missing, and that was the moment I knew. And the hours pass by. Now I just wanna be alone, but your close friends always seem to know when there's something really wrong. So they follow me down the hall, and there in the bathroom, I try not to fall apart, and the sinking feeling starts as I say hopelessly, he said he'd be here. And it was like slow motion, standing there in my party
This one makes me angry.
And that was the moment I knew. What do you say when tears are streaming down your face in front of everyone you know?
That expression.
And what do you do when the one who means the most to you is the one who didn't show? You should have been here, and I would have been so happy. And it was like slow motion, standing there in my party dress, in red lipstick, with no one to impress, and they're all standing around me singing happy birthday to
Yep.
you. But there was one
Yep.
thing missing, and that was the moment I knew. You called me later and said, I'm sorry I didn't make it. And I said, I'm sorry too. And that was the moment I knew.
That is aggravating. Now, I could be completely wrong on this, and God help me if I am, but I think I know what this is about. I don't follow the rumor mills. I'm not up to date on gossip. I honestly just don't care about that stuff. I just let the art speak for itself. However, with All Too Well being on this album, and now that I know the story of Taylor Swift and Jake Gyllenhaal, I think it makes perfect sense that she's talking about her 21st birthday party here. And it's pretty much outlined black and white in this song. It's her birthday, there's singing, there's candles, she's dressed to the nines, she's got her lipstick on, she's surrounded by friends and family, and she just keeps looking at the door, just waiting for Jake Gyllenhaal to come in, and he never does. And obviously it has devastating consequences and effects on her. Like, man, birthdays are special. It's your specific day. It's a time just for you. It's a celebration of you as a whole. Never mind your 21st birthday, which is a very important and also very memorable and special birthday. You want it to be something big, or you want it to be something at least memorable that you're going to carry with you for the rest of your life. And Taylor was robbed in this experience. At least at the end of the day, the climax of this song, what it really tells us is that was the moment that she's like, oh, well, at least I know. And I think what she means by that is, at least I know how much I actually mean to you. I knew from the first note of the piano and the creeping cello and that first strum of the guitar that this was going to be a very difficult listen. The somber piano, the creeping up strings, all add texture to the down-tempo build. And it's that build that truly surprised me. It is a payoff. It feels like a release. That combination between organic and electronic instruments just working in perfect symmetry and coming together for one hell of a drop of a chorus. I mean, honestly, it was powerful. I mean, the snare hit the sustain on the second hit of the snare. It felt almost violent. There was attitude behind that hook. There was emotion. It built up and it dropped, and the payoff was actually there. Now, all that building and structure and everything is great. I love the dramatics of it all. I could talk about it all day, but what it really is that cuts to the core, what it really is that drives this song home is Taylor Swift's delivery. It comes down to those inflections, those moments where there's a bit of squeak, those moments where she just goes a little bit higher or her voice almost gets to the point of cracking. It basically humanizes the entire thing. So when she's having her low lows, when she's sitting at that table and I see that birthday cake and the candles, and she's, singing that monotone, very breathy tone, like I feel it. Like I'm right there with her. Like it just really, truly takes you to that place. But when she pops off and it goes just the chorus and she talks about what it actually felt to her, and you could feel like the rage almost shake her voice. It's that kind of delivery. It's those kind of inflections that make the whole thing just so much more readable. This is a conundrum for me because honestly, sonically, I really enjoyed this, and her delivery was spot on, and I like the aggression in this. I like the kind of almost pent up rage, but at the same time, it's kind of somber, and I don't like this story in particular. I don't think that she deserved that, and it kind of bums me out. But I think that's the whole idea. Is it's real music. It's supposed to be real experiences. It's about opening up and being vulnerable and sharing something real with her audience, and basically what happens from that point on. It's letting those people in. But nonetheless, it still pisses me off. I don't think I'll ever enjoy Jake Gyllenhaal ever again.
You said it in a simple way. 4 a.m. the second day. How strange that I don't know you at all. We stumbled through the long goodbye. One last kiss, then catch your flight. Right when I was just about to fall. I told myself don't get attached, but in my mind I play it back, spinning faster than the plane that took you. And this is when the feeling sinks in. I don't wanna miss you like this. Come back, be here. Come back, be here. I guess you're in New York today. I don't wanna need you this way. Come back, be here. Come back, be here. Delicate beginning rush, the feeling you can know so much without knowing anything at all. And now that I can't put this down, if I had known what I know now, I never would have played so nonchalant. Taxi cabs and busy streets that never bring you back to me. I can't help but wish you took me with you. And this is when the feeling sinks in. I don't wanna mess you like this. Come back, be here. Come back, be here. I guess you're in London today, and I don't wanna need you this way. Come back, be here. Come back, be here.
Cool bass line.
This is falling in love in the coolest way. This is falling for you when you are worlds away. In New York, be here. But you're in London and I break down, 'cause it's not fair that you're not around. This is when the feeling sinks in. I don't wanna miss you like this. Come back, be here. Come back, be here. I guess you're in New York today, and I don't wanna need you this way. Come back, be here. Come back, be here. I don't wanna miss you like this. Come back, be here. Come back, be here.
So once again, I have no idea who this song is about. I'm assuming it's another celebrity, maybe another musician that's touring that might be in different parts of the country or just in a whole other country together. And Taylor's having some issues with this long distance relationship. Now, this is one of those songs that should not be relatable because I'm assuming you're not a celebrity and I'm definitely not a celebrity. So how can an average person relate to this? How can we seek value from this? Is this just a story that Taylor's sharing with us and we're to take it for that? Well, we could, but I actually found this a pretty relatable situation to me, and I bet it is for you as well. Do you ever feel like you're in the same room with somebody, but they're a million miles away, that they're distracted with something else, even though they're right next to you? Well, I bet you have. We've all felt that way. We're all so distracted by our devices and whatnot. And I'm not going to go on an old man angry rant here about you kids and your cell phones or whatever, because I'm guilty of it too. All right. I get lost in the devices. I get lost in the forums, just like everybody else. But it's one of those things where it feels like someone's further away from you and you really just kind of miss them. You want them to come back to you. And at its core, that's kind of what this song is about as well. It's about truly missing somebody and wishing that they could take a flight back to you or whatever, even if they're in the same room. I know that's not what this song is about, but hey, I thought it was an interesting coincidence. Yeah, sonically, I think this one's got a great build. I think overall, it's very pleasing to listen to. This whole album has a very cinematic feel to it. There's a lot of strings added to everything. At one point in the bridge, they switched over to an electronic drum set, which was cool. Adds a bit of contrast and a just different angle to something we're all very familiar with. Overall, not bad. Yeah, not bad.
Don't look at me, you got a girl at home and everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. Don't look at me, you got a girl at home and everybody knows that.
It's so cheesy. And I don't mean that in a bad way or a disrespectful way. It's done deliberately. Is that a touch of vocoder, by the way? You know, I'm going to wait till after the song. I'll say my thoughts.
I don't even know her, but I feel a responsibility to do what's upstanding and right. It's kinda like a code, yeah. And you've been getting closer and closer and crossing so many lines. And it would be a fine proposition if I was a stupid girl. But honey, I am no one's exception. This I have previously learned. So don't look at me, you got a girl at home and everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. Don't look at me, you got a girl at home and everybody knows that. Everybody
It's actually pretty catchy.
I see you, turn off your phone and know you got me alone. And I say don't look at me, you got a girl at home and everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. I just wanna make sure you understand perfectly. You're the kind of man who makes me sad.
Panning's cool.
She wakes up, you chase down the newest thing and take for granted what you have. And it would be a fine proposition if I was a stupid girl. And yet I might go with it if I hadn't once been just like her. So don't look at me, you got a girl at home and everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. Don't look at me, you got a girl at home and everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. I see you, turn off your phone and know you got me alone. And I say don't look at me, you got a girl at home and everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. Call a cab, lose my number, you're about to lose your girl. Call a cab, lose my number, let's consider this lesson learned. Don't look at me, you got a girl at home and everybody knows that. Everybody
I actually really like it.
don't look at me, you got a girl at home and everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. I wanna see you pick up your phone and tell her you're coming home. Don't look at me, you got a girl at home and everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. It would be a fine proposition if I hadn't once been just like her.
What the hell was that? It's like an 80s dance video. Oh my God. All right. Let's talk about the song first. Let's talk about the lyrics. And then I'm gonna get to the whole sonic experience in just a second. To me, this song brought me to a party. Yeah, imagine yourself at a very trendy party. Imagine you're, in this living room and they've got couches that are low to the ground and there's glass everywhere, big windows, and there's an infinity pool outside. And it's a trendy party and this song is just playing in the background. And there's this one guy walking around the party that every one of us knows. It's the guy that has a girlfriend, but is still attempting to mac on these ladies, still walking around and flirting. And everybody's kind of looking at him like, what is happening here? We all know this girl. I know Sarah, dude. What's going on? Now, Taylor Swift's there as well. She's in the corner of the room. She's got a shimmery dress on. I'm imagining some sort of silver sequins. I see her sipping a martini, something classy, something clear, possibly an olive in there. I don't know. Anyway, she looks out. She sees this dude and she shoots daggers into his eye and basically says, do not fucking come over here. I already know your game. Stay away from me. But everybody still sees this dude kind of bouncing from girl to girl, trying to pick up somebody for the night. But it's odd because we all know this guy that has a girlfriend and it still tries to pick up other women. And we might even know the girlfriend. I've been out with my dude friends that have tried to mac on other girls at the bar or whatever. And I've been like, dude, I know Sarah. we're Facebook friends. What the fuck, dude? Maybe that was a little personal, but you know what? You don't know Sarah and you don't know Derek and they both broke up anyway. So Anyway, back to Taylor Swift in the corner of this trendy party with her martini. She's shooting daggers into this guy's eye, and he looks to her, all right? He looks to her for a second, and he starts to walk over, and Taylor's like, oh, wait a fucking second, dude. I know your game, and I don't want any part of it. Stay away from me. At the end of the day, Taylor just is sad about the whole thing. She's sad that there's this dude that has a girlfriend, and this girl has no idea what he's doing, and it's just a sad situation all around. But Taylor admits if she was a stupider girl, that maybe she would have gone for it, but she's learned, and she's not, that naive now, and she knows how to keep her distances from fools like that. Now, sonically, this is so different from everything else in the album. It's like this one was just dropped right from space and put in the album, and it almost makes no sense at all. It has this futuristic retro quality to it. It almost reminds me of a workout video from the 80s or 90s or something. So it sounds futuristic, but it also sounds kind of retro. But it's just such a departure from, the almost charming cinematic nature of all the other songs that we've heard so far. I guess I like it. I mean, it's definitely jarring, but it's still something new and it's refreshing.
I'm walking fast through the traffic lights, busy streets and busy lives, and all we know is touch and go. We are alone with our changing minds. We fall in love till it hurts or bleeds, or fades in time.
This is nice.
And I never saw you coming, and I'll never be the same. You come around and the armor falls, pierce the room like a cannonball. Now all we know is don't let go. We are alone, just you and me, up in your room and our slates are clean, just twin firesides, four blue eyes. So you were never a saint, and I loved in shades of wrong. We learned to live with the pain.
I love that line.
Mosaic broken hearts, but this love is brave and wild. I never is a state of grace. This is the worthwhile fight. Love is a ruthless game unless you play it good and right. These are the hands of fate. You're my Achilles heel. This is the golden age of something good and right and real. And I never saw you coming.
It almost adds a different layer of desperation. It's haunting.
And I'll never be the same. Oh, I never saw you coming. And I'll never be the same. This is a state of grace. This is the worthwhile fight. Love is a ruthless game unless you play it good and right.
So obviously I've already heard this song, but they had the acoustic version on here, so I figured I might as well go ahead and react to this as well. And I'm glad that I did, because this was haunting, and it really shows off Taylor's dynamics. It really goes to show you that sometimes you don't need all of the bells and whistles. You don't need all of the fancy production techniques. When you have a talented artist that is speaking from their soul, it just is so readable. And this might be a little bit more haunting. I'm not sure which version I like better, honestly. But, you know, they're both dramatic in their own ways. They're both intense in their own ways. So normally what I do is I go into reactions completely blind. I don't like to get too much insight about a track. I don't want it to sway my opinion on it one way or the other. I don't want to be influenced by anybody else's opinions. But I've gotten a lot of messages about this next song. A lot of people said, Jim, you need to look into this before you react to the song, because there's a lot of context and things you just should know about before reacting to this song for the first time. Apparently this song is about a 4-year-old boy from Arizona who unfortunately died from cancer. Taylor learned about this through reading a blog from Maya Thompson, and Maya Thompson is the mother of that 4-year-old boy. At some point, Taylor and Maya came together and they co-wrote the song we're about to react to right now. I don't think I've ever been more apprehensive about hitting that little circle, hitting that little play button. I know this is going to be deep. I know this is going to be heavy. And knowing some of these words came directly from the mother, I just know we're in for something intense here. So let's do it.
I remember you bare feet down the hallway. I remember your little laugh. Race cars on the kitchen floor, plastic dinosaurs. I love you to the moon and back. I remember your blue eyes looking into mine, like we had our own secret club. I remember you dancing before bedtime, then jumping on me, waking me up. I can still feel you hold my hand, little man. And even the moment I knew you fought it hard like an army guy. From here, you were my best for years.
Jesus.
I remember the drive home when the blind hope turned to crying and screaming. Why flowers pile up in the worst way? No one knows what to say about a beautiful boy who died. And it's about to be Halloween. You could be anything you wanted if you were still here. I remember the last day when I kissed your face and whispered in your ear, come on baby with me, we're gonna fly away from here. Out of this curtained room in this hospital gray, we'll just disappear. Come on baby with me, we're gonna fly away from here. You were my best for years. What if I'm standing in your closet trying to talk to you? And what if I kept the hand-me-downs you won't grow into? And what if I really thought some miracle would see us through? What if the miracle was even getting one moment with you? Come on, baby, with me. We're gonna fly away from here. Come on, baby, with me. We're gonna fly away from here. You were my best for years. I remember your bare feet down the hallway. I love you to the moon and back.
Jesus, man. I don't even want to break this apart. No, I can't. I cannot break this song down. I can't. I can't do it. Everything that needs to be said has been said. There's no angle I can take with this. There's no commentary I can give on top of this that would do this any sort of justice. The song, all I can say is the song is a beautiful tribute, and it felt incredibly, it felt so real. This didn't feel like fluff. This didn't feel, I don't even know how to describe it. I'm at a complete and total loss of words. This is devastatingly beautiful. I don't even know what to say, and I don't know how to give this song justice. All I can say is Taylor paints a very vivid picture. All right, so let's talk about Red as a whole. My final thoughts on this album as one cohesive art piece. I gotta say, for the most part, I really enjoyed this album. I feel like everything has been elevated. I feel like every album, the production just gets bigger and bigger. I feel like every album, her voice just changed, or she works in a different dynamic, or she shares some kind of different expression that just make these songs a little bit more real. Some songs are incredibly romantic, even though they feel sad and depressing. Some songs are just beautifully written stories that take you through time. Some songs are cheeky and fun and make you feel like you just want to dance and let loose and just enjoy the moment. Some songs are heartbreaking and talk about the true life issues that young people face, dealing with relationships, dealing with insecurities, and how it affects you and how long you can live in those dark places. And some songs will literally break you. This was a difficult album to react to, not because it was long, but because there was so much to dissect. There was so much to take in. There is just so much going on in this album, but I feel like there's still some natural flow through the thing. There's intertwining stories and there's deliveries and things that I learned about in this album that I didn't know before. For the most part, everything sounds very mature in cinematics. There's lush strings and intricate beats and great bass work, and the guitar is shimmery and larger than life sometimes, but then at other times it's stripped away and it's just so delicate but powerful. The structure of these songs also left me on the edge of my seat. Oftentimes, I did not know where songs were going. Where I thought there'd be a verse, there was a chorus. Where I thought there'd be a drop, things went back to the beginning. It seemed like a mixed bag on this album. Honestly, I think this album is the full package. This might be one of the best albums I've heard from Taylor. It's cohesive, it's cinematic, the writing is fantastic, the sonic experience is enjoyable. All the songwriting is just top notch. The production level is shot up to 10. Vocally, this is fantastic. We see different sides of her showing different dynamics with little squeaks and almost cracks and things that really humanize her voice and make the storytelling just that much more real and vivid. I think the album is a full package. I can see why this is a fan favorite. I'm definitely gonna have to spend some more time with this album. I got to take a couple hikes with this album and really just sit with everything. It's a lot to unpack. It's a lot to really absorb. Some of these messages, I'm sure I missed a ton. I'm sure I just didn't get it on first listen. That's just to be expected. So it's going to take some time for me really just to sit with this album and really just absorb it like I have with other albums. But overall, I really, really enjoyed this album. I think it's great from start to finish. There are very few songs, if any, maybe one or two that really just weren't my cup of tea, but everything else was just top notch. It was honestly really impressive. This is a great collective of art right here. But guys, that is going to do it for me. Thank you so much for everybody that's been so kind with the comments and following along on this journey and helping me out and help further explain things. You guys have been awesome and really supportive in this journey that I've been going on. So seriously, thank you so much for being here. Up next, I guess I'm going to be doing the vault tracks. Then I'll be doing the music videos, and then we'll be doing some live performances and documentaries around this era. So I'll have that up for you guys real soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a wonderful night, and I'll see you all on the next one. Bye, everybody.